Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Louder. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukham karoti vacharam prangum rangayate girim yatra patamaham vande Shri Gurum Devitarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram Narayana Namaskrithe Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashte Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamahashyoke Bhaktire Bhavati Nashtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishna Bhutresha Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namo Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurava Visharana Devi Shesha Shubha Dasha Krishna. You can move this room if you. It's just right in front of me. Beta, thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare why? So you don't want me to see you, yeah?
They've been hiding all.
So whoever is sitting over there, I'm going to ask you the first question, okay?
Yeah.
So I want you to share what we learned from last class. I'm just kidding. Can you please come over here, please? Because if I can't see you, I will have no connection with you, guaranteed. Please. Both, you move there. Let them sit over there. You move over there, sir. Please come. Anyone else that I can't see? No, I can see you. Anyone else sitting on the corridor or just in case? Feel like I'm in a classroom. I'm just kidding. Backbencher? That was my spot. Alright. Thank you very much for coming. I really look, first of all, thank you very much for inviting us to your house, Prabhu. Really appreciate it. You know, जब हम किसी के घर में, when there is a Krishna Katha and chanting and kirtan goes on, what happens is it actually purifies the vibration for thousands of years. Not one day, thousands of years. You know, these trees, the plants that you can see outside, they are all getting blessed because of the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And we will talk about more in detail why this chanting is so powerful. I was listening to Bhanu Swami Maharaj in the temple now. He gave an amazing class on Harinam Chintamani, which actually talks about what is the glory of, why do we just chant one mantra again and again? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Pura kirtan isme chalta hai, then we chant for some time. Why do we do this? It was incredible to hear. He says this sound vibration is not from here. They say, you know, we say A for apple, this language, this English language is from here. This is not from here. This is from spiritual world. This sound vibration is coming from the spiritual world. We are using our physical mouth. You know, we are using this electronic instrument to propagate it. But it's actually 100% spiritual. The sound is spiritual. So when we hear that sound, when we speak that sound, what happens is we actually get into a different vibration, which is spiritual vibration, and that's why you feel that bliss what you feel. You know? We don't feel that bliss in Kishore Kumar song. You know? I mean, we sometimes used to do it before, but when you compare it with this is amazing. Like, you know, you can't say Zindagi ka safar hai, kaisa safar 24/7. Can you say Zindagi ka safar hai, kaisa safar? Zindagi ka safar hai, kaisa safar? Doesn't matter whether you say it in tune or not, but it will be so boring. But this mantra, people have been chanting for thousands and thousands of years. And the reason is because this sound vibration is not normal. This is a very strong spiritual vibration. And more you will come and you will see the effect of this. It's actually it kills all our past karmas. Like all bad karmas get destroyed. Not even that. even propensity to do next bad karma get destroyed as well. So there are multiple benefits of this. So thank you very much for having us here, Prabhu, and thank you very much all of you for being here, because if you're not there, then we can't do this class. So today what we will do is we will how many are here for the first time? Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's it, eh? 3. Okay, so what we will do is, with the other mic, can I ask you to introduce yourself, just your name, where you're from, and what do you expect from this class?
My name is Hiran.
Hiran.
Hiran, yes.
Okay.
And I live in Hoppers Crossing.
Okay.
And my husband comes over here. So generally I
You
work-
got her. Oh, salute. Prabhu, एक photo खींचना है इनके साथ मेरी ना बाद में.
That generally I work in the Friday evenings, so today I got a chance to come
Very
here.
nice, very nice. Now I was telling him, please bring her, and he goes, yeah. If she's not working, I'll bring her. So thank you for coming. Thank you. What is your expectations here? Are you just going to drive?
Just to come here and
No expectations? It's okay. Best thing is to have no expectations.
just to
Then
start
it's always
from-
be exceeded.
Yeah, just to start from somewhere.
Okay,
So,
very nice.
yeah.
Thank you for coming. Can I please have mic over here, please? And where are you guys from, Prabhu? In India? Gujarat. You from Gujarat? Okay.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
My name is Hemant Rudra,
Yes.
and I'm staying in Point Cook, Zetak Crescent with my son.
Uh-huh.
My 2 children staying here actually. We keep traveling from India and here.
Achha.
And,
They are in Point Cook.
They are
Are
in
they
Point-
here today?
No.
Okay.
We came for the first time here.
Okay,
We were
okay.
introduced by Ashanti
Asha Aunty, yes.
Maskola.
Yes.
And we have been connected with Hare Krishna ISKCON for a long time.
Oh, very
My
nice.
son is a lifetime member
Oh,
of
beautiful.
ISKCON in Vrindavan.
Okay.
When he was 3 years old, we had taken his membership. I don't know why we took it, but then
Wow, that's amazing.
we got connected.
That's really good.
My extended family, my sister and all are very, very strongly connected in Bombay.
Oh, beautiful.
And
That's good. So you already have everything.
no, we don't have everything. We
Yeah.
don't go to satsangs like this
Okay.
very often.
How about your kids? Why are they here? They said, oh, Papa, Mommy, you go. Huh? ये हमारी उम्र नहीं है.
I'm sure they will come.
They will.
They will come. But since
I
we
used
are
to-
coming for the first time, we didn't know how
Yeah, very
and
good.
what you are doing. But we got connected very fast.
Beautiful. Actually, yeah, I used to tell this to my mom and dad. Said when they used to ask me, I said, Mom, you lived your life, Papa, you lived your life, you go and do it. I'm okay. But now I know how important it is to get connected at the age of this. I am so, like when I look at him, how old are you, Beta? He's 10 and he's sitting here and he has immense knowledge. When I ask question, I ask him last. Because when I ask him first, he gives the right answer and then no discussion happens. So I really feel that when I was 10, nobody got me in a place like this. Nobody. So he's extremely lucky that he's got parents like this, and I wish that somebody would have told me when I was younger. But thank you very much for coming. So what's your expectation?
Well, I would just say that he's a pure soul and a pure mind.
Yes.
We are pure souls and slightly polluted minds.
I love it.
So that is why he is,
very good.
that
Very
is
nice.
why he is more connected and more absorbed, like more than us.
Yeah.
And he's more important.
Yeah. Have you ever worked in a radio station or anything?
Yeah.
Such an amazing voice.
An all India radio voice.
No.
We have
Yes, you
that
do.
baritone voice,
I have to come and take vocal lessons from you. Oh, wow.
I'll hand over to my wife.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm Jyoti Rudra.
Mhm.
And we are here for the first time. Asha Aunty has
Yes.
been there. And
How long are you gonna stay for this trip? How long is
we are here for a year or
Oh,
7
beautiful.
months, like that.
Oh,
And then
very
we are
nice.
here.
So that means I'm gonna see you next week for sure, yeah?
Definitely, yes.
No, it depends on how this class goes, but
Yes.
that's okay.
So,
But what's your expectation?
nothing, just have come here to rejuvenate and always feel, elevated and a connection with Krishna.
Actually, meeting you guys is our pleasure. Actually, this is for. I think we are honored to have you guys here.
Same here.
And thank you very much for coming, and I'm really grateful that you can make it. And then now, if you go back home, and if you think this is something really worth going on a Friday evening, just spend an hour and a half there. Please let your kids know?
No, actually, this was our first, and we didn't know, there was
Yeah.
no number given.
Okay.
So I could not, even
Yes.
message back and here.
All right.
So first time we just want to see.
So I will, Mataji, can you get her number and put her on the group? Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you for. So what we are doing is we are actually studying science of self-realization. I remember when somebody asked me first time to come to a class like this, and I was like, "What is it?" And they said it's satsang. I was like, "Oh my Lord." I was thinking I'm going to sit right at the back, find out very nice cushion, and make sure nobody is watching me, and I just praying that I should not snore so that I can fall asleep. But I attended a class and they were talking about science of self-realization, and I was like, what? I thought you were going to talk about समय समय का फेर है, हम सब वहीं से आए हैं तो वहीं चलेगा. I thought that's what's gonna happen, yeah. But everything was completely different. They talk about science and physics, and they spoke about this, how the meteors work and how this cosmos is running. And I was like, what happened? And I remember that this particular topics like search of happiness, God exists, who am I, one God or many gods, why bad things happen to good people. I think these are the 5 topics. Yoga of love, I don't really understood that what it means, but those 5 topics really intrigued me. So we are studying this, and before we start, there is a quick announcement. I don't think you can see this correctly. We have done a couple of things already. 14th of March is Gaur Purnima. So please see if you guys can come to temple. I'm going to be there all day. So if you guys want to take a day off, please let me know. There is a lot of service available in the temple kitchen. So I will be there from the Mangala Aarti and then till dusk. We'll be cooking, and I think I'm going to be bringing Prasadam to Wyndham Center here. So if you guys want to, give us a hand, please let us know. So we all know, we have discussed this, what is a material world, why does God created this temporary and miserable material world. We discussed that spiritual journey is full of pain, suffering, though painful is not always bad. We looked at example of gold in the fire. Then we looked at why God suffering. We looked at example of the, when do exercise, it's actually pain, but build strength and flexibility. And then we looked at another example of cocoon, butterfly. If you break the cocoon halfway, then the butterfly wings won't develop and butterfly won't be able to fly. So all the pain that we go through in our life is for our own betterment. And we discussed that the problem is that we assume that life in a material world is like picnic, but it's actually not, And then we discussed these frequently asked questions. We've gone through all of that. And then today we're gonna watch a video and then we'll start.
December 10, 1914. There was a massive explosion in West Orange, New Jersey, United States of America. 10 buildings in a factory owned by the legendary inventor Thomas Edison were engulfed by flames. 6 to 8 fire departments rushed to the scene but could not curb the chemical-fueled inferno. After having tried all that he could, as Thomas Edison calmly stood there, watching the fire destroy his entire life's hard work, his 24-year-old son Charles came over and stood next to him. In a childlike voice, Edison said to his son, "Charlie, go and get your mother and her friends. They'll never be able to see a spectacular fire like this in their entire life." Astonished and shocked by his father's response, Charles asked Thomas Edison, "Our entire factory is being burnt down to ashes, Dad." Thomas Edison replied, in complete composure, "Yes, our factory is being burnt down to ashes. But all the mistakes we've made so far in the factory have also been burnt down to ashes. We will start all over again tomorrow. That evening, Thomas Edison told a New York Times reporter, although I'm 67 years old and I'm completely exhausted from running around and trying to control the fire, tomorrow I'll start all over again, afresh. And so he did. The next day was a fresh beginning for Thomas Edison and his son Charles in trying to rebuild what had been destroyed by the fire. Often, this is what life does unto us. Our dreams are shattered, our hopes broken, efforts baffled. Great people, they don't cry, they try to rebuild their dreams. Great people don't give up, live up to the challenges that life throws at them. Great people don't go through, they grow through the difficulties that come on their path. They start all over again with great hope, with great determination, with great grit. And that is why they reach the highest peaks of success that most people only aspire for. That is why I say, no challenges, no success. No challenges, no success. Thank you very much.
So, let's go to Mike. Can anyone wants to share what did we learn from this video? Any one or two points? Anyone? Yes, can I pass on the mic over there, please?
I think what I got from here is every challenge is actually an opportunity towards success.
Yeah, beautiful sir. Every challenge is an opportunity. And during class is same we discussed again and again. We just looked at so many examples. So if there is a challenge, then God is trying to build some sort of muscle in it, in us. You know? So if we have a challenging partner, we are actually build our emotional muscle. If we have a challenging mother-in-law or a daughter-in-law, we're actually creating, like really building our emotional and our patience muscle. You know, if you have a really crazy boss, then you are building a temperament of, you know, doesn't really matter what people think of me. I need to just do my best. So thank you very much, Nadi. Yes, beta.
What I got from the text is that if we don't face too many challenges, we won't get to reach the peak of happiness.
Beautiful.
That we need or want.
Very nice. Very good. You know, my dad used to say, thank you, beta. My dad used to say that one day he goes to me and he was just sitting down, he said, limited funds are blessings. And I looked at, we all brothers and sisters, we looked at my dad. We can't say anything, you know. In our head, thinking, what rubbish. Limited funds are blessings. Papa, I mean, we couldn't say anything on the dining table, but in the head we were thinking. And then Dad said something very amazing. He said, if you're not thirsty, you will never know the value of water. Yeah? So if you are in Australian army, there's a question in when they recruit army people, there is a question where they ask you how many times have you failed, and if you say 0, you don't go to the next stage, because you know what they say, if you haven't failed so far, we don't know how you react during your failure time, and we don't know during the war how would you react. We want people who have failed many times. It's not how many times you failed, it's what did you do after each time you failed. That makes who you are. Yes, anyone else wants to share? Yes, Prabhu.
A fire can destroy our property, but it should not destroy our determination to start again.
Beautiful. It should light up our determination to start again. Yeah. Who was it? Somebody. I was watching this South American motivational speaker. I forgot her name. She was told she went to America to study, and some people in America, they told her that, your English is so bad, how come you can't study here, you will actually fail here. That sentence ignited her so much that she topped the university, and then she topped the university, and she did the PhD, topped the university, and she kept topping the university, and then after all of that, she realized the only inspiration that she had was the person who was trying to destroy her, bring her down or, put fire on her. So she used that fire to ignite her determination. So very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, please.
Very nicely put example of a fire like Thomas Edison. What I understand from this is that he found a big mistake that they had done of handling the chemicals they had inside.
Yes.
Big fire. When he told his son that, we will start again, he ensured that he's going to make the corrections.
Yes.
So the message is very good that if you have made a mistake and if you don't make a correction, you will again make the fire.
Make the same thing.
So
yes.
I think that is what I could understand. That
beautiful.
Try to find the mistake and make the correction and then restart again.
That is correct. So thank you very much. That's really good. So, for example, in Christianity, my wife, she was telling me that they actually say if you surrender to the Lord, as soon as you surrender, you accept the Lord as your Savior, all your sins are gone. And that's it, yeah? And then she said, no, that's not it. The only sins that are gone is what you've done in the past. If now you have surrendered to the Lord, and if you do sins now, you will have more repercussions now. Because, you can cheat everyone except for God. You can't cheat Him. So, it is important for us to get into a path of bhakti, like whatever devotional we'll be doing, but that doesn't mean that because we are on this path, we can do whatever we want. Sometimes people start thinking of themselves as so righteous. They walk like this. I've got a tilak in my forehead. I go to temple every day. I can do whatever the damn thing I want to do. That's rubbish. You can't. Because one of the things that you said, if we know what mistakes we have done, the next step is to rectify it. Next step is not to forget about it. You got to start again, but if you make the same mistake, so if you want to get a different result, you have to start doing different things differently. If you keep doing the same thing, you keep getting the same result. So thank you. So today we're going to do 3 modes of material nature. So we have discussed this body is made out of, this body is like a cloth. We discussed this. And because we're in a prison, in prison there are 2 C's they give you, 2 C. One is clothes. They give you prison clothes with your number, chest number. In army we used to get, when I went for my SSB, we used to get chest numbers. So nobody would call you, nobody would know your name at all. They would call you chest number this, chest number that. So in prison as well, you will have a chest number or the number of and they will call you number 64 kind of stuff. So in prison you get 2 things. One is clothes and the second is chains. So there are 2 C's. So what is the first thing done to a prisoner? They are given clothes and chains. Now, what is this body that we have is actually like a cloth. Clothes. These are given to us. We are a prisoner of this material world. So we give these clothes. And so we know what our clothes are. And gross body. This gross body is upper garments. And the subtle body, which is, do you know what are the subtle body that we have? Anybody knows? So gross body is this made out of 5 elements. What is the subtle body? Yes, mind, intelligence, and ego. There are 3. So these are called undergarments. So subtle body is undergarments, gross body is outer cloth. Now, clothes to mil gaya. Then what are the change? Like chains fine, chain. Now today we're going to talk about chains, but the clothes are like, we have different clothes and we change every day. Padma Puran actually says we have, like, for example, if you ask me how many pair of clothes you have. So in my closet, I can tell you I've got 5 suits, and I've got around 9 or 10 shirts. Then I've got same amount of t-shirts, and then shorts, pants, jeans. Yeah, I can tell you. But if you ask someone who is looking down at this material world, they will say, how many type of clothes do you have? That means how many kind of bodies we have. So in our Padma Puran it says, Jalaja Navalakshani Sthavara Laksha Vimshati Krimayo Rudra Sankhya Pakshinam Daksha Lakshanam Trinshal Lakshani Pashvaha Chatur Lakshani Manava. What is it saying? Now the translation is this. Padma Puran says that we have 8.4 million bodies, 8.4 million type of clothes we have. Usme se 900,000 is aquatics, 2 million non-moving living entities such as trees, 1.1 million species of insects and reptiles, 1 million species of birds, 3 million varieties of beasts and quadrupeds, and 400,000 human species. So आप लोगों को what do you mean 400,000 species? So it actually is all of these species. If you look from aquatics all the way to human, they are all different species. They have different consciousness. For example, if I go to the tree and poke a nail in it, tree will not move because of a bit of less conscious. They are less conscious of what's happening. And that's why they can stay in the rain, shine or whatever. But if you poke an animal, they will have a reflex because they are a little bit more conscious. But animals, they don't have emotion. They do have emotions, but they don't understand the emotions, higher emotions, the way we do. So now human species are highly evolved, but even in human species, there are 400,000 species, which means that there are still people whose consciousness are very, very, very low, and there are people whose consciousness is really advanced. Like for example, there are people who live in Himalayas, all these yogis and stuff, very high level of consciousness. All these sannyasis and stuff, like real. I'm not talking about the fake, dhongi sannyasi. I'm talking about the real deal. They are on the top level of human species, and there are 400,000 species. So now, if you Google it, I'm going to put these slides in the group. Go and Google it. Google how many aquatics there are there. They know only around 750 or 1,000 species they know. So they are still around 180,000 species. They have no idea, and they tell us, like if you go to Mariana Trench, they actually don't know what kind of species live there because it's called, what is it called? And the place, pitch dark, something like that. Pitch dark, something they call, there's a name. I don't know. So they don't even know because there are 900,000 aquatics according to our scriptures, and there are 2 million non-moving living entities such as trees and plants, different species of trees and plants. आपको पता है there are trees and plants where you touch them. There's a plant which is called chui mui. Have you heard of it? You touch them, touch me now. What happens to them? They close. They are actually a little bit higher consciousness than the rest of the trees. Bamboo tree is probably less conscious, but bamboo tree is a little bit more conscious because bamboo tree grows really fast. It takes 3 years so nothing happens, but in like next 6 months it will be like 30-40 feet tall. Then 2 million non-moving entities. There are 1.1 million species of insects and reptiles. Their bodies. So now हम लोगों ने discuss करा था how do we get these bodies based on what? Based on our karma. For example, You know, have you seen those people who love water? Like they just can't resist water. They are always water, water, water. If they don't get into spirituality, 99.9% time they're gonna be born. If they've done a karma to become an animal, they will most likely become an aquatic animal because they love water so much. Because when they're dying, you know, at the time of death, antakale chamameva smarana mukva kaledam. At the time of death, whatever consciousness you have, you get that kind of a body next door. So these species and insects and reptiles are there because this is their consciousness when they were dying last birth. There are 2 million non-moving trees and plants, 1.1 million species of insects and reptiles, and there are 1 million species of birds. Now, if you look at Google, I think they only know 900,000. There's still 100,000 species of birds they have no idea about. Actually, not written anywhere, because these birds, these are the birds who live at places where humans have very less to do with. So that's why they don't know. There are 3 million varieties of quadrupeds and beasts, and somebody is asking who's quadrupeds. Char pero. Yeah. So, and then there are 400,000 species, and these are from aborigines all the way to the sannyasis and sadhus and yogis and stuff. Because what happens is, the brilliant thing is, if there is an aborigine who has no idea about the civilization and stuff, they're living still in the bushes and stuff, that doesn't mean they are less likely to go back home, back to Godhead. That's actually wrong. They have less kind of consciousness because they haven't had a chance to develop it. You know, there are some people who live like animals even in this society, and I'm pretty sure we know some of them. You know, they live like animals. How do animals live? They do whatever they feel like. They have no regards for time, place, or emotions. You know, they do whatever they feel like, wherever they feel like, you know, and whenever they feel like. The only thing is they're mating, they only mate in their mating seasons. That's it. Otherwise, they do whatever they want because their consciousness is not developed. With us, we have a lot of different rules and regulations, and those rules and regulations are there for a reason. You know, if we could do anything and everything what we want, then there will be no sacred marriage ritual. You know, marriage is a sacred ritual. If marriage wasn't there, then the whole society will be chaotic. You know, because we have a tendency of, I like this, I want to own it. I like this mridanga, I want to own it. Sometimes we like, I like this person, I want to own this person. You know, that's what people used to do in olden times. I like this woman, I want to own this woman. They used to have no distinction between a female and an object. You know, that's how low the consciousness was at that time. Now we know that now we have gone a long way, but at the same time, if you think about it slowly and gradually, and in the name of liberalism, we are losing that touch of rules and regulations. Now it doesn't really matter. We are going back to the same thing. So we are going lower in our consciousness. We'll talk more about it after this session. So now we're going to talk about, so there were 2 C's. One was the clothes. The second one was chains. So now what are those chains? There are 3 chains that we are stuck with. जिससे हम लोगों को बांधा हुआ है. One chain is called Sattva-guna, second is Rajoguna, and third is Tamoguna. Sattva-guna is mode of goodness, Rajoguna is mode of passion, Tamoguna is mode of ignorance. So this is what we're going to talk about. So we've done the 2 C's, now we are on the 3 gunas. After that we look at the examples, and then we'll look at the frequently asked questions. So in our scriptures it says Maya Devi is usually binding us with three strings. So हम सबके पास 3 strings हैं जिससे हम लोगों को control किया जा रहा है. Sometimes, you know, ऐसा नहीं होता है कि you want to get up in the morning, but you can't get up. होता है? किस के साथ होता है? हाथ उठाओ. कुछ लोगों के साथ नहीं होता है. They don't sleep, I think. So वो क्यों होता है पता है? Because We want to get up. Yesterday I promised myself that I'll get up, but I can't get up right now because my tamoguna is playing up. The thing is, tamoguna कह रहा है ना, I can't, क्योंकि वो क्या कर रहा है उसने तीन strings ना तमोगुण वाली string खींच लिया, हम लोग उठ ही नहीं पाए. तमोगुण वाली string खींच ली, है ना, ऐ तो उठ ही नहीं पाए. Now that is what Rajoguna, Tamoguna. So what happens is Tamogunas, actually we'll talk about more in detail. So, but ये जो तीन चीजें हैं सतगुण, रजगुण, तमोगुण, we used to think that सतोगुण is very good, huh? But at the end of the day, it still chains, still binding us. So goodness is A-class jail, like with all the air conditioning. You'll have foxtail in your cell. You have couches, you won't have chairs. You have a ensuite. You don't have to pee in the sink. You have an ensuite. You have people who come in. And then who lives in those kind of prisons? Those politicians and stuff. They go to the jail just for the sake of it. They have A-class jail. Then the B-class jail is you get simple bed, simple toilet, and then there's a C-class jail where you in Kalkotri. No sunlight, nothing, no bedding, जमीन पे सो, no aircon, no heater, no क्या बोलते हैं चद्दर वगैरह कुछ नहीं मिलती है. So, but all of these things, what is the one thing that is common in all three? Chains is common. That means you are still in jail. Doesn't matter whether you have aircon or not. You're still in jail. Sometimes we think that we are so lucky that I'm sitting in this air-conditioned house right now on a Friday night, where someone in maybe Namibia is sweating and maybe dying of heat. We are thinking like that because we are in an A-class jail. That person is in C-class jail, but we both are exactly same in terms of foundation. So we are still bound by these. So the characteristics of goodness is serenity, peace, harmony, wisdom, sense of happiness and knowledge. And you see, जैसे अभी हम लोग बैठे हैं ना, maybe most of you or maybe all of you, you are feeling this serenity, peace, harmony, wisdom because right now mode of goodness is prominent. ठीक है? As soon as we get up, finish this, we go to Prashadam. What will come up? Passion will come up. And जब हम ठूस के खा लेंगे, what will happen? Ignorance. Then we want to just sleep. So what happens is, characteristics of passion is unlimited desire. एक रसगुल्ला और चाहिए. I don't care whether I like it or not. मैंने बाजू वाले की में देखा. I need another rasgulla. So that is called unlimited desire, frustration, intense emotion, anxiety, extreme opposite sex attraction. These are all modes of passion. Ignorance is sleep and laziness, addictions. When we talk about mobile phone, I was reading an article and they were saying, when we continuously scroll on mobile phones, that is actually not mode of passion. It's actually mode of ignorance because what you're doing is your addiction, any kind of addiction. अगर आपको चाय का भी addiction है ना, that is mode of ignorance. It comes from mode of ignorance. Any kind of addiction. And then hopelessness and feeling of lost. Now, there is a story to explain. तो आपको बताओ इसमें से कौन सा है which is better? Obviously one is better, yeah? Which one is better? Satogun is better. Now, how do we explain this in a practical term? And this particular teacher explained amazingly. He said, imagine your task is to put a thread in the needle. Your task is to put thread in the needle. Now, one of you, I'll give you gloves, like those operation theatre wale gloves. I will give you cricket gloves and I will give you boxing gloves. Who would be able to do the thread in the needle easily? First one. Why? Because it is much more accessible. So हमारी जो life है ना, हमारी life is like putting the thread in the needle. Our life is, what we live every day is like putting the thread in the needle. whoever is in mode of goodness, it will be easier for them. Whoever is in mode of passion, it's gonna be actually really hard. And with boxing gloves, impossible. So, surgeon gloves is joys of goodness, passionate efforts is cricketer's gloves, and boxing gloves is destruction, failure, and madness. So, but the best thing is, what is the best thing? Best thing is no gloves, isn't it? Best thing is no gloves, and that no gloves is when you get out of this all three modes. You're not even in Satgun, Rajagun, Tamagun, you're in beyond. It's called mode of absolute goodness. You know? It's Shuddha Sattva, jisko kehte hain. So the bare hand is a pure and blissful soul. And हम लोगों ने बचपन में एक कहानी पढ़ी थी जिसमें एक टोपी वाला होता है, and he goes and he was trying to sell his topi and monkeys took that. How many of you have read that story? Have you kids? Do you know that story? How come you haven't told your kids this story? I'll tell you the story. It's a nice story. But there are three versions of the story. Three versions of the story. So what happened? There were three friends. There were three friends. There were three friends. Three friends. All three of them had a business of selling the topi hats. So what happened is, all three of them, they used to go from one village to all the way to the other village. So this first one came midway and he was tired and he was sleeping. And he was sleeping, he fell asleep, and there were monkeys on the tree. They took the topi, sari. He became really angry and he goes, "Oh my Lord, meri sari mehnat barbaad ho gayi." He got so angry and sad and depressed. He went to the other village, went to the bar, got drunk, and that's it. Depressed and drunk. You know? Second friend, similar job, similar thing. He went to the same place, different bunch of monkeys. They took their hats. This guy got angry and he took the stones and said, "Look, either you give me the hats or I'm gonna one by one I'm gonna kill you all." And the monkeys they don't understand what he's saying. And he went to the village and started finding guns and started buying guns and swords and stuff to kill that thing. And the third one, who was another friend, he actually went. Monkeys came, took his hats. He woke up and he realized, "Oh my goodness, all the hats are gone. What do I do?" So he knew that monkeys, they imitate. So what he did is he took his hat out and showed it to the monkeys. So all the monkeys took the hat off. Then he threw the hat on the floor. Then all the monkeys threw the hat on the floor. He collected the hat and he left. And he sold it. So the first person was a person of Tamogun. He drowned himself in alcohol and forgot his fear and miseries. Now, some of us may think, "Oh, I don't drink," or "I'm not an addicted drunkard. I don't drink because my wife doesn't listen to me." This drowning in alcohol is just a simile. If you think about it, it means that you are in that zone where you're feeling hopelessness. कई बार बॉस के साथ हो जाती है hopelessness, कई बार सास ससुर के साथ हो जाती है hopelessness, बहू के साथ हो जाती है, husband wife में हो जाती है, husband kids में हो जाती है, लेकिन क्या है यार ऐसे कैसे बच्चा दे दिया मेरे को seriously, बात ही नहीं मानता है, things like that. But it is all ignorance. Addiction is the worst thing. So the first one, because he was in the Tamogun, he became addicted, intoxicants and anxiety के कारण he couldn't achieve anything. Second one was he had a mode of goodness, rajas. Because he had rajas, he wanted to take revenge. And because revenge से क्या होता है? When you become passionate, 99.9% times you will have frustration and anger. You know that lady that I was telling you the story before, this South American lady, motivational speaker, talked. She was passionate because उसकी ego का hurt हुआ. She became passionate. She became angry, but she used mode of goodness to get the first rank. अगर वो passion में ही रहती, she would have not achieved. Passion is only to ignite. You ignite a fire, you know. Passion में क्या होता है? If you ignite the fire and leave it, it will become big fire and you won't be able to control it. Goodness और passion में क्या होता है? You ignite the fire and you know how to control it. इतनी fire मुझे चाहिए and it is okay for me. The third guy was in Sattva. He was composed. He thought of an idea. Finally got his all the hats back. है ना? Goodness make us think clearly. कई बार आप लोगों को कई बार ऐसा नहीं हुआ है कि you went for an interview and suddenly आपके मुंह से शब्द निकल रहे हैं but you have no idea where it's coming from. And you can see these people are so impressed. You know? Why? Because at that moment you are in that mode of goodness. And when you are in a mode of goodness, whatever you speak will have really amazing, because you can think clearly, your delivery will be different, the words that come out of your mouth will be like very impactful. And opposite to that, if you are in passion, the words that will come out can be really hurtful. Because when we get angry at our partners, what happens? We hurt them. We want to hurt them. And that passion, if you don't put sattva on it as a cap, then it will become miserable. Now, the reason why we are bound by, like for example, normal prisoners के साथ क्या होता है? Prisoners के साथ क्या होता है? The reason why they are in the prison because what have they done? Some crime, something wrong, something which is not allowed. They've done, yeah. So they can go. So we understand they go to prison because they've done something wrong, and we are telling you guys that this whole material world is a prison. That means we have done something wrong, you know. Now we have done something wrong, and we have an option of 3 chains. Which one would you pick? You only have option 3. So you will pick the Satagun chain, you know. So how do you pick Satagun chain? We're going to talk about it. You're going to make sure that we can actually see some examples. So we've done some sort of mistake. Now there are ways to look at those mistakes. You know, we're going to look at a video first, and then we'll go to because now we have to understand the reason why we are stuck in these 3 modes, because we've done mistakes.
How many of you made a mistake? How many of you made a mistake in your academics? Oh, full 100% success rate. 100% success rate. In your exam paper, something went wrong. Instead of pressing cause, you press sign. 20 marks gone in the paper. Engineers know very well what I'm talking about. Instead of pressing one button right, you just press the wrong button, finish. 20 marks gone like that in the exam. Making a mistake, right? How many of you made mistakes in dealing with your parents by shouting at them and then regretted? Felt really bad. I shouldn't have done that. How many of you made a mistake by judging your friend wrongly and then feeling that actually मेरी गलती थी उसकी नहीं थी? इधर हाथ नीचे ही नहीं आ रहा है. सब लोग सोचते प्रभु जी बार-बार उठाऊंगा ऐसे ही रखता हूँ मैं. For everything the answer is a yes. What's the point in doing this? You know वजन कम हो जाएगा. ऐसे ही रख लेते. So but you're doing pranayam. What's the point? Isn't it? Shh. Possibly we could be making serious mistakes in our life, especially in the zeal of youth, in the super duper enthusiasm, zeal, energy. As young men and ladies, we could be making some serious mistakes. But what's beautiful in life is life allows us to correct those mistakes. पेंसिल के पीछे रबड़ आता है, रबड़ बोलते थे हम लोग स्कूल में, रबड़. And the first time we got this pencil with a rubber and a razor behind, it's nice because mistakes can be erased. Some mistakes we have made can be corrected. Some mistakes we found the consequences are so bad. We just have to now have the support system to handle it. Many mistakes can't even be reversible sometimes. इसीलिए हम कई बार कहते हैं, हिंदी में कहते हैं कई बार, भूल करना ना प्रकृति है, स्वभाव है. ऐसा कोई है जो भूल नहीं करता? मान लेना ना संस्कृति है. It's culture to accept that I made a mistake. कई लोग तो मिस्टेक मानते ही नहीं. They don't accept they made a mistake. भूल करना प्रकृति है, मान लेना संस्कृति है और सुधार लेना प्रगति है। देवियों सज्जनों, अगर हम उस गलती को मान ले और सुधार ले, उसको प्रगतिशील जीवन कहते हैं। Progressive life is to accept that I made a mistake and to try and not repeat it again and improve in the area that we made a mistake.
So, we made a mistake coming here in this material world, but what we can do now is Sudhar kar rahe. We are sitting here now. So this is probably one of the steps. Now, if we understand three modes of material nature, it is easier for us to rectify that mistake. So there are examples of mode in action. So in terms of food, there are different kind of food. The food which are fresh, there are in mode of goodness. Very pungent, very spicy food, mode of passion. And anything which is dead is mode of ignorance. Now, the thing is, if you think about it, what are the food which are mode of goodness? आपको पता है, anything which is 4 hours, older than 4 hours made, cooked food. 4 hours is the lifespan of goodness in a food. अगर आपने खाना बनाया, 4 घंटे में खा लिया, still had mode of goodness. 4 घंटे के बाद is not mode of goodness. It's passion and then ignorance. जो सड़ जाता है खाना, that is mode of ignorance. तो ये जो meat, eggs, meat, they are all coming into something which is dead. That means, आपको have you heard of a word called prana? Prana? Yeah. Prana in a suppose एक apple है. Apple में जब तक it is edible, उसमें प्राणा है. उसमें प्राणा कब चला जाता है? जब उसमें कीड़े लग जाते हैं. When it starts stinking, then it becomes उसमें प्राण नहीं है. What does that mean? That means there is no that fruit is no longer edible. If you think of, अच्छा, for example, suppose हमने भिंडी काटी, ठीक है? भिंडी is a normal vegetable और उसको हमने काट दिया. You can see it's still green. Until it's green, it still has prana. उसको हमने काट के खाया, पकाया, खा लिया, it's mode of goodness. लेकिन जो जानवर जो हम लोग खाते हैं, जो eggs हम लोग खाते हैं, they're all definitely dead. है ना? ऐसा तो नहीं है कि चिकन खा रहे हैं और फिर अंदर से आवाज आ रही है कुकड़ू, nothing है, because they're all dead. So because it's dead, it's definitely mode of ignorance. So the kind of food that you eat will bring you to these three modes. If you eat sattvic food, sometimes आपको some of you ऐसा आपने देखा ना, कुछ कभी हमें बहुत गुस्सा हो जाता है, बहुत जल्दी बहुत ज़्यादा गुस्सा. And if you are vegetarian, the reason why it's happening a lot is because we are eating lot of spicy food, like really spicy. Because spicy food क्या करेगा? It increases passion, है ना? इसीलिए you see lot of ulcers, stomach ulcer happen because of lot of spicy food. So if you want to stay in a mode of goodness, if you want to stay in the chains which is made out of gold, or if you want to stay in a air conditioning, jail, try and eat food which is in mode of goodness. And this is 100% your choice. You cannot say that I don't have an option. When we live in Australia, it's not possible. There is a music. In music there are three kind of music: goodness, passion, ignorance. Goodness music, anything which is instrumental, anything which is soothing. Like Prabhuji did an amazing soothing kirtan. That was not in goodness. It was actually mode of pure goodness, which was above the mode of goodness. But usually instruments, guitar, sitar, flutes, they are actually mode of goodness. Passion is when you see like rock music, anything which is really loud rock. And ignorance is, those Metallica, that those kind of stuff. There is a lot of research has been done on Metallicas and stuff, and it has extremely dangerous impact on human psyche. People who are in Metallica music. And there are some exceptions to it, because those people are really in mode of goodness. When they hear it, they instead of getting into ignorance, they get into passion. So they are not that dangerous. But most of the people that they have done research on Metallica music kind of stuff, they are actually really bad for your psyche. Easier to get into depression, addiction, and all those sort of things.
Tsunami sir, death metal, tsunami बोलते हैं.
Death metal, yeah. Death metal, because it actually will lead you to death. Death means you're actually physically body may not be dead, but consciousness is dead. That's why it's called death metal. You know, I used to love that, by the way. I should accept that. But luckily somebody took me out because I had, what happened is for my Air Force exam, I had apparently a perforation in my right ear because of Metallica, dead metal music. So I couldn't get into Air Force. So, and then if you realize it had a massive impact on psyche. Like, you know, smoking, if you stop smoking, it takes probably around 6 months to 1 year to get the toxins out of your lungs. Similarly, when you're in this music, it takes a long time. It takes months, sometimes years to get out of that zone. There are, so in different people's goodness, Vibhishan was in, so koi bolega yaar mere to circumstances aise hain, I have to eat. Like, you know, some people say, Prabhuji, I do night shifts. How can I eat fresh food? It's valid question. I do night shift for hard work. So यहाँ पर example है, यहाँ पर Lanka में there were 3 kind of people. Vibhishan was in Lanka as well. Ravana was in Lanka and Kumbhakarna was in Lanka. But all 3 of them are in a different guna. And whose choice was it? Their own choice. Their actually own choice. विभीषण को ये नहीं बोला था उसके भाई ने कभी कि यार why don't you try, you know, मेरी तो तू गुण गाता है, राम के भी गुण गा, देखते हैं क्या होता है. He never said that. वो अपने आप ही, he made a choice, you know. So in order for us to get into Satguna, Rajguna, Tamoguna, it's our choice, you know. Now somebody of you, we have only 6 minutes, so I'm going to do a couple of more slides and we'll stop. So there are a few questions on the screen. How do the mode bind us? अभी हमने बोला modes are like chains, है ना? अच्छा, for example, how are they chains? Like somebody can ask why and how are they chains? So the answer is a prison without wall. Material world is like a prison without a wall. बाकी नॉर्मल प्रिजन्स में तो वॉल होती है बड़ी बड़ी, आप कूदती जा नहीं सकते. अब यहाँ पर क्या है, ये वाला मटेरियल वर्ल्ड है, we have no walls around us, but we are prisoner or not prisoner, it's our choice. So you can choose to be in this world. Like some people say, I don't care. I was talking to one guy in my office, and we were doing a presentation on. We're doing a project for one of the Aborigines places to bring them to increase their employability. You know, just we're trying to make sure. I mean, right now only like 5 to 6% of people were the place that we're working on. 5 to 6% people are actually employable. That means they have some sort of skill. Some of those people don't even know meaning of resume, CV. They don't even know. So, you know what he said to me, and we were talking, and I was telling him that, you know, it's our choice what kind of life we live. And he said, no, it's not our choice. I had no choice. I was born in a family which was broken family. My father used to hit my mother used to hit my father, and they used to, like, you know, every day I used to go home, I wasn't sure whether of whom I will find alive, you know. And then they broke up and they divorced each other, and then I had stepmother, then I had a stepfather, and all those mess. I didn't choose any of this. And I said, yeah, that's correct. You think that you haven't chosen it. I can't tell him about karma because he wouldn't understand it. But I said, look, I agree that you had a very bad bargain. You know? But it's not about what has happened in the past that define who you are. How many of you have seen Harry Potter? Okay, you have seen it. There is a dialogue in Harry Potter. It's not it's not the talent that define who you are. It's the choices that you make. Dumbledore tells this to Harry, and I wrote it down. It's the choices that we make what makes us who we are, not our talent. Not our talent, because talent is very temporary. There are so many pole vaulters. They have, the pole vaulting in Olympics. There are so many pole vaulters. They break records every year. Do we know any one of them? Probably not. Maybe जो pole vaulters हैं वो लोग जानते होंगे. We don't know any one of them. है ना? चलो ठीक है. अभी वाले का पता होगा. Do we know who won in '64? No idea. So doesn't matter what you have done. The talent one day will go away. But what will not go away? The choices that you make. So मैंने उसको बोला, doesn't matter ना. You've dealt bad cards ना. You've been dealt bad cards. Now you have to make the best use of the bad bargain. So now you can make a choice. And he said, I don't know how to do it. I said, it's okay. If you don't know, if I don't know something, for example, if I don't know, if I'm sick, if I don't know how to get better, where would I go? To a doctor. I said, what would I do? I'll go to a doctor. So if you don't know how to make a decision in your life, what choices you should make, you should go and speak to someone who has got a lot of wisdom. Speak to someone. He was a Christian. I said, go to one of your pastors, talk to them and tell them, I'm struggling with this, what choices should I make? But at the end of the day, it's your own choice. We invite the qualities, the Satgun, Rajagun, Tamagun wali quality, we invite it. We cannot point fingers. Actually, देखा जाए तो it's his fault. जिस घर में वो पैदा हुआ है, that's his own karma. But I can't tell him that. But we know that that's his own karma. He was born in that family. I had a friend so मेरे बेटा और उसका बेटा same age के ना. So मेरे बेटे के अन्नप्राशन पता है क्या होता है? When we give grain to the child, ना. So I called one of the Gangeshwar Prabhu came to my house and he gave anna to Narayan, my son, first. उसके कुछ दिनों के बाद my friend, they said, oh, we want our child to have some solid food. You know what he gave him? Beef. Small pieces of beef. And I was standing there and I was like, what are you doing? He said, what? This is what our solid food is. I'm giving it to him. In a Punjabi guy. Then I was thinking in my head, man, उस छोटा सा बच्चा he's like 8 months old. उसको आप beef खिला रहे हो. I said, उसकी क्या गलती है? Then suddenly I realized, no, he's born in the family because that was his karma and his choice. He wanted to eat beef, that's why he was born. So, उस बच्चे की गलती है 100% है. Parents की भी गलती है, लेकिन उस बच्चे की भी गलती है because he was born. He decided his karma was that he was gonna born in that family. But you cannot change where you're born. But what you can change is what you choose right now. If we choose the mode of goodness, we can break the unhealthy habits of passion and ignorance. है ना? Simple, अब कोई बोलेगा कि प्रभु जी बोले आ रहे passion, ignorance, are they bad? Do you think passion and ignorance are bad? How many of you think that? How many of you think passion is bad? Raise your hand. How many of you think the passion is actually good? Okay. How many of you think that ignorance is good? Okay. Good. Very good. So, Prabhu, tell me, why is passion good?
For example,
Mike, please.
So, Prabhuji, I just came to this class after playing a badminton game. So
Yes.
It's a very classic example.
Yeah.
So, I'm on the court. I have to be competitive.
Yes.
And to be competitive, I need the passion.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Very good. Anyone else who wants to talk about Tamogun? Why is Tamogun good? Hang on. Somebody raised their hand. Yes, Prabhu, do you understand? Why is Tamogun good?
Sometimes it is good, I believe.
Yeah, why?
You need Tamogun because it gives you a form of aggression.
Form of?
Aggression.
Aggression, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Even Shri Krishna told Arjuna to be a little bit aggressive because he wanted.
Aggressive, yeah. That's actually passion. Aggression is actually passion.
Yeah.
I'm talking about ignorance. Mode of ignorance.
Ignorance is bliss, as they say, sometimes.
I love it. You know, two kinds of people, they're always happy. Someone who is like highly elevated and someone who is so dumb they have no idea. You know, they both are happy, like, you know, in their life. Very good. Yes, Prabhu.
So we need rest also sometimes, right? This body that we have. So we need rest. If we are constantly passionate, if we are always
Sattva
good as well,
it
can be tiring. So we have limitations. So we have to sleep, for example. Right?
That's
so
correct.
We have to get into Tamogod as well.
That is correct. Because if you don't have some, you know, the people who are, you know, they don't, insomnia, who's got insomnia, they have a very strong issues with sleeping. They don't have, it's not that they don't have Tamogod, they do have Tamogod, but Tamogod is not enough for them to sleep. Because they stay in passion. Again, they can't relax, you know. Yes, you were saying something?
It is very, very interesting because as you started in the beginning that, you know, we are in the prison anyway. And we are talking about goodness, we're talking about passion, and we're talking about ignorance. So life is going to sustain. To survive, people will follow all the paths.
Yes.
So once you'll be ignorant first, you do all the mistakes, then we come in this kind of satsang, we realize, you know, we have to improve, then we become passionate. If you're not passionate, you will not propagate. Right? Because if you have absolutely goodness, there will be no propagation. That's what
correct.
happened in Buddha's time.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So this life, if you have to sustain, you have to keep a balance in all the three things.
That is correct.
Even in Ramayana, you say Rama had gone to hunt a deer.
Yes.
So somebody will say something wrong with him. Why was he hunting a deer?
Yeah, that's
you know,
true.
Because
that's
where Tamo says that you're not supposed to eat any.
Yeah.
And people in our Shastras also, it's not mentioned
That's
that you
correct.
should be vegetarian or non-vegetarian.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying that I'm non-vegetarian.
Yeah.
But I'm saying when you will sustain life, you will pass through all the phases of life.
Yeah.
And to be good, you will have to evolve to that level
Mm.
to keep that balance.
That's correct.
And then you'll be able to achieve it.
That's correct. And that's what we're going to talk about now. Because overindulgence or misuse of anything is bad. Every mode has their function. Yes, beta. Can I have a mic over here?
I think that Tamagun, ignorance is good, not all the times, but sometimes because it can help us ignore the bad.
Oh, ignorance is, oh, that's really good. We can ignore the bad stuff. That's really good. And we can actually take rest because अगर हमारा सत्वा बहुत high होगा ना, we won't be able to sleep. We will be peaceful, but we won't be able to sleep. But ज़्यादा देर तक हम उसको peaceful रह नहीं पाएंगे because then we will get tired and we get irritated and then we get into passion. So is passion and ignorance bad? Midday sun promotes vigorous activities, stock market, sports, rush hour, traffic jams, lively college campus. Overindulgence in passion can cause frustration, illness, career issues, relationship issues. I think most of us, if you drive like around 5 o'clock यहाँ पर, it's horrible the way people flip the finger like left, right, and center. Like what's going on? And it's very hard to change lanes because nobody will give you way. Like everybody is like in a rush to get home because they're all frustrated. You know, they all had issues. They're dealing with the issues at work. They're dealing with issues. They know that they're going to be dealing with issues at home. You know, so this happens because of overindulgence. क्या कर लिया है हम लोगों ने? Now husband and wife both are working. You know, पहले क्या था? It was easier for one income से घर चल जाता था. अब नहीं चलता. It's not possible. So husband and wife both are working. But because both are working, then what happens is खाने की you cannot have good food, you cannot have sattvic food. You go home, then both of them they have their own frustrations at work, and then they come home and they take frustration of work at home. You know, they take frustration at kid will take frustration out of their mom because of they had bad day at school and all those sort of things. So usually what happens is passion and ignorance are bad only when we have overly indulged in it. So how do we not overly indulge in it? Keep it simple. Keep it simple means keep your lifestyle simple. For example, there is enough in this world for everybody's needs, but there is not enough for even one person's greed. ठीक है? So आज हमारे पास एक प्रॉपर्टी है, दो प्रॉपर्टी है, 5 प्रॉपर्टी है, 10 प्रॉपर्टी है, and you want to go for 50th property. It's okay, as long as you can stay in the mode of goodness. If your balance is shaking because you are overly indulging in earning a lot of money so that you can have more money, but you're ignoring your kids, you're ignoring your family, then that money is not going to give you any peace. You will never be in mode of goodness. Money is very, very essential. But what is more essential is to have that balance. वरना क्या होगा? We will start putting our job first and family second. And usually ऐसा होता है. Like for India में तो it happens. Some of my friends, they work 7 days a week. And फिर भी boss बोलता है तुम काम ही नहीं करते हो. They start at 7 and finish at 9 p.m. every day, 7 days a week. They go home to sleep, and sometimes one of this friend, he lives like he's in Mumbai. He lives like 3 hours away from the office. So sometimes when he gets late, he sleeps in Dharamshala. He finds like those very cheap Dharamshala. He sleeps there and goes to office from there again. Put some deodorant on and go to. Can you imagine? So that why is that happening? Because our needs are same, but our greeds have increased. Now, if I $10,000 में घर चल रहा है, but if you want to only buy Gucci, then 10,000 को तो सिर्फ wallet आता है भाई, सिर्फ पर्स आता है. You can't survive, ना? So it's not. So when God is giving us more, instead of increasing our level of living, standard of living, we should increase our standard of giving. So क्या होगा? Then you will never get into passion. That's another thing. We'll talk next week. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Anybody has any questions? Any comments? Anyone wants to share anything? Alright, so I'm gonna go from this side, and I want you to give me one thing that you take home, that you want to take home from this class. One thing. Who wants to start? You want to start? Yes, beta. Where's your mic? One thing.
Since there's a lot of ignorance going on at school and bad stuff going on there, I'm gonna try to not get what is it called?
Tamagun.
Get involved, get into it and into depression for that all.
Wow. Brilliant. Thank you, beta. Thank you. Yes.
Obstacles will always be there.
Yes.
But we need to always take that as a challenge and overcome it.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, bro.
Balancing between these
very nice. So none of the gunas are bad. We just have to balance it. Yes. Hamji.
So we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
So what's the beauty of it is basically we need to go towards a path of progression from it.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I've been saying that everything, all the gunas are required for survival and sustenance. So we need to learn to adapt when we need to get into what we.
Beautiful. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. Anything that you want to share? One point.
I think I personally think that I was born alone, I'm going to die alone. So I should make minimum ripples with anybody around me. That I don't affect their life.
Beautiful.
So because passion and ignorance is where when we start affecting other people's lives.
Yes, definitely.
So if I can be in equilibrium in myself, because I'm going to go alone, I came alone. So I should not, the moment I stop bothering others, I'll be able to keep a balance.
Wow. Now, Mataji, do you agree with it? Does he bother you? How many ripples are there?
Problems keep coming. So individual has to keep the balance.
Beautiful. I love that. Because it's our individual choice and it's our individual. Like sometimes we are very quick in pointing fingers. I am angry, but I'm blaming. Hey, because of you, I'm angry. No, you are angry because you are angry. Don't blame anyone. Very nice.
And then sometimes it does happen. Even if you want to keep trying to keep a balance, you cannot.
Yeah.
Then what I have realized and felt is the chanting of Hare Krishna, and that really
calms you down. Yes. This is amazing. What you just shared is the key. This is the reason why we're doing all these classes. क्योंकि क्या होता है? If I tell someone on the street, hey, chant Hare Krishna and be happy, you say, chant Hare Krishna, be happy. So that we have to do all this elaborate stuff, because what happens is the knowledge will take you to the knowledge that we are trying to gain is leading up to chanting the holy name. And trust me, if you start chanting, before we do this, we chant. And when you chant, trust me, all of this knowledge will actually come and get condensed in our heart and our head, and we'll be able to live our life much more fulfilled. ऐसा नहीं है प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी प्रॉब्लम आए जैसे आपने बोला प्रॉब्लम आती है
problems will come, but then again ignorance is very good.
Yeah.
It's blissful.
Yeah.
And yes, it is, because ultimately you can't keep fighting all the time, because the life is really tough.
That's
and,
correct.
So I think chanting really helps.
100%. See, this is one of the best realizations.
Yes, just try. Like to suggest, just try for sometimes. If you are not able to balance in any way, just drop everything and start chanting.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yes.
My takeaway would be, like everyone said, problems will come, challenges will come, mistakes will happen, but our struggle, it's our struggle to achieve growth and success by stepping the stones of those mistakes and challenges.
Yes, you got to just climb over it. Use them. Thank you very much. Yes, Nirmal Prabhu. Nirmal Prabhu has some realization.
Guruji, when I go, I will divide my time 24 hours into these 3 modes.
Okay. So he's in a planning mode. Love it. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, my Prabhu.
So, Prabhu, there are pros and cons of each guna. So we have to maintain a balance. So
beautiful.
Yeah, so that's most important.
Yes.
So there's nothing like that ignorance. What I learned, it's nothing like ignorance is bad or passion is bad, but we have to maintain a proper balance.
Yeah, you cannot go too much into ignorance.
Exactly.
You cannot go too much into passion, and you cannot go too much into ignorance is okay, but have balance. Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. For me, I think, like everybody said, yes, all 3 gunas will always be there in your life. I think it is about selflessness, like how you can do everyday things selflessly without, like he said, about affecting others.
Beautiful.
And then leave the rest, like do your part and don't focus on the result or what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then just leave everything, and then there's the supreme being. So surrender there and then leave that. Okay, that is only meant for me, and then go with that. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Mindset.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
So probably I would only say keep the life very simple.
Yes.
Passionate is good, but do not overindulge.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu.
So simple life is.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
For me, it's we have the choice how we live.
Yes. Yes.
Do we balance the gunas or how we want to live our life?
Yeah. Remember Harry Potter? You as a person is defined not by your talents, but by the choices that you make. Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
I would say pretty much the same, like to strike a balance between all the 3 gunas and just to make the right choices.
Beautiful.
They can remember us, not our talent.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Instead of blaming what wrong has happened to us or what unfortunate has happened to us, we have to think of what choice we can make with the situation that we have and progress from there.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
So difficulties and challenges are gonna stay with us. but we should overcome and learn from them.
Beautiful. You learn from it.
And another thing I want to admit, before the class today, I always used to feel that Rajoguna is the only gun we should have.
Yes.
But today I learned that it's a mixture of all
Yes.
three we should be having.
You know the three colors, the three primary colors, all the colors are made out of those three primary colors. So हमारे जितने भी anybody in this universe, जो भी इस universe में जितने भी living entities हैं, they are all because of these three modes, the way they combine with each other, that makes their personality. You know, the only difference is we have a choice. Plants don't have a choice. Animals don't have a choice. जैसे शेर है, शेर को बोले यार तू पागल है क्या, लोगों को मार के खाता है? That's not good. You know, you should not kill people. Have you seen that movie? What was it? Fish are friends, not food. What was that movie? Dory. Finding Nemo. The shark, they started becoming vegetarian. They said, oh, so their motive was fish are friends, not food. And then when they get hungry, they eat. Anyway, so you cannot tell this to the lion. He cannot be in mode of goodness because he needs to. That's for his belly. He needs to hunt and kill and eat. But we have a choice. We have a choice. And you were saying, you know, there in Shastra, it's not said that you should be vegetarian. Actually, in our Shastra, every single Vedas, all four Vedas, all Puranas, all Upanishads, all Smriti Shastra and Shruti Shastra, everywhere it's written, eating meat for human beings is 100% prohibited. Two things humans should not have. One is meat, and another one is alcohol. It's considered to be the most sinful activity in the whole universe. Only reason is because human beings can sustain the vegetarian. Lion cannot eat grass. You know? So that's why it's sinful, because what we are doing is when we eat meat, we are trying to, with animals, because they have higher consciousness than plants. So when you kill them, they feel pain, they feel emotion, they feel all of those things. So you have to be so less conscious of your emotion, itna hard-hearted hona padega, कि you're okay to cut and kill an animal to satisfy your taste buds, just for dinner plate. Which you can have really amazing, you know, butter paneer as well, balti paneer you can have, But I want beef. My in-laws, they eat beef because, and I was asking someone, would you kill an animal and eat? And they said, yes, I would. This is how much they attach to their taste buds, that they're okay to kill and skin an animal and eat. And they don't care, So that, the 400 species of human beings, they are one of the lowest ones. Of the 400 species, the people who have no compassion towards. So some people think, I think I was telling you guys, all these people, they, in front of Caroline Spring Shopping Center, they broke a window because there was a dog, somebody left a dog inside. So they broke the window, got the dog out, called the cops, and I was talking to them, and I said, what happened? He said, oh, such a cruel person. He left the dog in the heat. And I asked the boss just one question, what did you have for breakfast? What did you have for lunch? And he said, beef. I said, you're okay for a dog to not feel heat. You're not okay for the dog to feel heat, but you're okay to kill a cow and eat? And he said, I did not do it. I said, this guy, jiski gaadi tumne tod di hai, this guy can tell you the same thing. वो थोड़ी सी window crack करके गया था वैसे, है ना, खोल के गया था, but they broke it because they thought they're compassionate. But was that true compassion? I asked him, you think you're compassionate? And I told him, I said, it's all bullshit. Sorry. I said, it's crap, because what you're saying is you think that you're compassionate, but you're not. You just ate cow, and you're telling me that you're compassionate about the dog. What is this dog? How is this dog different to the cow that you ate? And the guy said, oh, that was my food. I said, I said to him, in Nepal, there are people who eat dogs. So don't worry, if you would have died, I would have called a Nepali person, they would have eaten this dog. And then he got angry at me. And I said, look, I'm just being really honest with you, and I want to show you that it is good to have compassion, but have real compassion. I'm not saying it's bad, it's good. They're better than other people, but that compassion is fake compassion and incomplete compassion. You want to be compassionate. हमारे शास्त्रों में बताया गया है the lowest of the species, इसको कहते हैं the lowest pulkasha or something. It's called dog eaters who are at the bottom, who eat dogs. They have the lowest consciousness out of 400,000. उसके ऊपर आता है जो who eats all the other animals and stuff, and the top people, they are in the top section is the people who are vegetarian, full compassionate. Even when they are when they take the gajar out of the thing, they actually pray. I'm taking it out. I'm taking you out to satisfy me, but I'm going to offer you to the Lord so that you get benediction, and I will eat only prasad. So when they cut crops, आपको पता है जो वहाँ पर पंजाब में हमारे जब मैं पंजाब में था, पापा की लास्ट पोस्टिंग वहीं पे थी. They used to cut the crops. They used to pray the whole time. They used to chant something while they cutting the crops. Because what? And I asked them, "What are you praying?" They said, "We are praying that this crop is given by God, and we are thanking Him, and we are saying that this is an offering to you." You know, वो लोड़ी में वो जलाते हैं ना, वो what is that? That is तेरा तुझको अर्पण. We are actually giving the first grain to the Lord, saying that, you know, and Vishnu's mouth is Agni is Vishnu's mouth. So you put it in the Agni. So you're saying, God, thank you very much. So now this fasal is prasad, so I'm going to have prasad. Sorry for the long spiel. Sorry, I didn't get the guys at the back. Do you want to share anything? Look, not compulsory. If you can say pass as well.
Prabhuji, the whole class was very beautiful. It answered so many of my problems or things I was going through. And the main thing that stuck with me at that moment was the video from Gopal Das ji, when he said you need to accept the problem, the mistake,
yes,
forgive yourself and
yes,
grow out of it, learn from it, keep growing.
Beautiful.
That was really beautiful, and I needed to hear that and see that.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes.
I'll repeat the same thing, that every challenge is an opportunity. Either it will give you a success or it will give you a life lesson.
Beautiful. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I'll take 5 more minutes. Prabhuji, I discussed with you something in the previous class and you said to share it with everyone.
Yeah.
So this was the time, I've recently done my master's, like almost 1.5 years. So this was my last semester. And that was supposed to be thesis, which was supposed to be done alone, but then something happened and then there were 2 people. And in the midterm, it was really bad. Like, I myself am a teacher, so when I presented, I knew that what I'm presenting is super thin and it's really bad. My faculty said, my professor said, they're not going to clear, you can opt out. I came discuss with my husband. He's like, if he's saying he's so confident about it, just opt out, it's okay. It's alright, don't take the stress. And like, it's okay, I mean, anyway, census days is gone, money is gone. If I opt out, definitely it's going to be a fail. What if I clear just by trying? So when I was trying, and then within 2 weeks, my professor is like, oh my God, this is a great progress. I said, yes, because now I'm working alone, I know how I can handle it. Then finally, June 5th was my presentation, and May 11th, I fell sick with flu. Very bad. After a week, I developed some kind of pain in my chest, and my doctor suspected that it's some kind of a lump. She wanted me to get mammoed and everything. I was like, I don't have that time. I need to finish my presentation. Even on the day of my presentation, I was coughing, sneezing, and the pain was so unbearable that if I was standing and I'm sitting, that used to give me tears. Then finally, I cleared. When I cleared, I was like, just pass, I didn't get credit. I started crying that I couldn't get credit. Later, when I reflected on it, I was like, if I would have got credit, I would have got that arrogance and ego. So Krishna saved me from failing. At the same time, Krishna saved me from getting that ego in me.
Everyone makes mistakes, but we have to learn from our mistakes and we can correct them.
Yes, we can definitely correct them.
गॉड कृष्णा हमेशा मेरे साथ हैं। जो मेरे पास भगवान ने जो मुझे दिया है उसका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, मैं उसमें बहुत खुश हूँ। Sometimes having passion is good, but too much passion will lead to expectations, and that expectation will lead to
Frustration.
relationship failures and career failures.
Beautiful. Very nice, very nice. Yes, beta. You go, let him, that's okay. No, that's okay, that's okay. You go, mother, you go. Passion. Yeah. Yes, very good. That's how it should be. We should slowly move from bottom to. In order to get rid of tamoguna, you can't have satoguna. Tamogun ko passion se hataya ja sakta hai. So you get into passion, and then you go to sattva. Thank you. Yes, Yunus Sheikh. Yeah, he was not even in the class today. So.
Yes, my take home is that fail and restart.
I love it. That's really good.
And other one is I have all the guns in me. I'm Sargun Sampurn.
That is incredible. Thank you very much. All right, let's do the Narasimha Arati. Any Mother, you want to share? Anybody? No, you're good. All right. Let's do Narasimha Arati. Who wants to do? Who is doing Narasimha Arati? Where is नहीं है? अच्छा. Okay, good. Where is the mic? Who's got the mic? So Narasimha Arati is on the who up there? Narasimha Arati is on the TV. Pritesh. Pritesh. Yes.